Our next guest defended the crane operator who was indicted in that tragic 2008 crane collapse. He got William Rapetti acquitted of all counts in his trial. His latest high-profile client was former Giants linebacker Lawrence Taylor. Here to talk about his career and the city and the law is defense attorney Arthur Aidala. Welcome.
How are you, Chuck?
Good to have you here. First of all, you started your career on the other side. You were an ADA. What made you decide to go from prosecuting bad guys to defending them?
Well, the truth probably has something to do with finances.
Well, I was going to say, like Willie Sutton, that's where the money is, right?
I was blessed to work for Joe Hines in the Brooklyn DA's office, really where you get a foundation, and especially, but not only in the law, but in ethics and in doing the right thing, whichever side of the aisle you're on. And I was there for 4 years. I tried a lot of cases. I got a lot of experience. And it's kind of like college or law school. Eventually, it's just kind of time to move on and do something different. And I did, and I've been very fortunate.
Well, let's talk about the Lawrence Taylor case, because Lawrence Taylor faces some very serious charges. He was accused of paying for sex with a 16-year-old girl. How did you manage to keep him from doing any jail time? Well,
initially, he was charged with beating her, making her bloody, being in a cocaine-fueled rampage, which was all just not true. It was just a long time just working with the prosecutors. You know, the Rockland County District Attorney's Office was a very professional office to deal with. Putting forth Mr. Taylor's story, we did our own investigation regarding the young woman and her desires. She wasn't really looking for Mr. Taylor to get hurt in any way, shape, or form, because she said he really didn't do anything wrong. I continually told him my age was different than what my age really was. So we all put our minds together. We thought justice dictated that Mr. Taylor should not go to prison.
So was the plan here to try to steer this into a human trafficking story instead of a story of the technical rape of an underage woman?
Well, that was the bigger picture. The Rockland District Attorney's Office, as well as the federal prosecutors, are they're very focused these days on human trafficking. Mr. Taylor did cooperate with their investigation, and it really came out that he didn't know anything about human trafficking, and this was just a really bad mistake.
I'm going to give you a tough assignment.
Sure.
You got a great track record here. But you are called tomorrow by this Gelman, the guy who's accused of doing this rampage, killing 4 people, stabbing 3 of them to death, running another one down in a car. There is a trail of evidence here that's pretty convincing. This would look like an open and shut case. Can you craft a defense for him?
I mean, you need to look at really everything in the mind. Chuck, these cases hinge on the details. The devil is in the details. So in this kind of case, on its face, it looked like Bill Rapetti, the crane operator in Manhattan, was guilty, and they were offering 15 years, and he was acquitted of everything, not because of any legal maneuvering, because he was factually innocent. I don't think that's the case here with Gelman. On this kind of case, I think you have to fall to the mercy of the court, the mercy of the prosecutors, and just say, okay, let's not give him life in prison. Let's give him 35 years in prison. So when he's 60, maybe he has something to look forward to go out into society.
You're on the other side. The odds of that happening in a quadruple murder?
I mean, look, we're talking about Brooklyn District Attorney Joe Hines is a pretty tough guy.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think my man, Mr. Gelman here, is going to get a significant amount of jail time.
Would you go for an insanity defense here?
The insanity defenses work so rarely. And here's what people don't know. When they are successful, the defendant winds up spending more time incarcerated than if they would have pled guilty. So people who are serving 25 to life usually get out at 20 years, 19 years. But if they get the insanity, they win, so to speak, and they get the insanity defense, they wind up staying in the hospital for maybe 30, 40 years.
What's the case that really made you, that put you on the map?
Well, for me personally, a case by the name of a woman by the name of Brigitte Harris. Her dad had sexually abused her whole life, and he left and he came back into her life, and she watched that he was about to abuse her niece, and she confronted him, and they got into a fight, and she handcuffed him, gagged him, and cut off his private part, and he died. And I took the case on for free, pro bono, because I felt so much compassion for this young woman. And we went to trial, and she took the stand and admitted to everything. And the jury found her not guilty of almost everything except the lowest thing on the docket, and she'll be out of jail in about a year.
All right.
And that's when you wake up in the morning, you feel like, hey, I did something really, really good for somebody.
Arthur Aidala, thanks for coming in.
It's an honor and a pleasure.
Enjoy visiting with you.
Thank you.